China has issued a rare and urgent advisory to its citizens in Israel, urging them to leave the country as soon as possible due to rapidly deteriorating security conditions. The advisory follows a sharp escalation of violence in the region, with renewed rocket attacks, airstrikes, and cross-border conflict impacting civilian and diplomatic areas. The Chinese embassy in Tel Aviv emphasized that all nationals must arrange immediate exit through commercial flights or seek consular help if stranded. While China has issued warnings before, this marks one of the strongest calls for evacuation during a foreign conflict in recent years. Other countries, including Russia, South Korea, and several EU states, have also urged citizens to depart amid rising security risks. The regional tension stems from a series of Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon and Syrian territory. In retaliation, militant groups have launched rockets toward Israeli cities, forcing many areas into lockdown and shelters. Chinese state media has closely monitored the developments, repeatedly broadcasting embassy contact numbers and safety recommendations. Social media in China is seeing a surge of worried posts from families with loved ones studying or working in Israel. Many Chinese students in Jerusalem and Haifa are reportedly making arrangements to return. Though flight availability is shrinking, the Chinese government's move signals growing concern that the conflict could expand across multiple borders rapidly. China's foreign ministry issued a public statement calling for immediate de-escalation and protection of all civilians. Quote, Israeli defense officials maintain that their operations are targeted at terror threats and are acting within international law. Analysts suggest the conflict risks drawing in Iran-backed groups and could spill into broader Middle Eastern instability. Israel's Iron Dome has intercepted dozens of missiles, but some have caused casualties and infrastructure damage. Chinese expats living in smaller cities report a lack of immediate embassy support, leading to concerns about safety. Volunteer organizations and overseas Chinese communities are stepping in to help with transport and accommodation. China's rare warning reflects how even distant global powers are being affected by the volatility. In Israel and Palestine, many Chinese citizens are now racing to book last-minute flights via Istanbul, Dubai, and Cairo as major transit hubs. However, rising demand and cancelled flights are leaving some stranded and dependent on embassy coordination. Chinese tour companies operating in Israel have suspended future trips and are assisting tourists to return early. The embassy issued emergency hotline numbers and is reportedly working around the clock to handle evacuation cases. China has historically remained neutral in the Israel-Palestine conflict but advocates for peace through dialogue. In this crisis, China is focusing on citizen safety over political stance, drawing applause from its domestic audience. Some observers believe China's firm stance may influence other Asian countries to follow suit. Universities with Chinese students in Tel Aviv are offering shuttle services to airports amid growing fear. Meanwhile, protests are erupting in multiple cities over Israel's military operations, adding to the atmosphere of unrest. Beijing has reiterated its call for a ceasefire and humanitarian access to affected areas, especially Gaza. Some Chinese citizens have reported issues at border crossings, particularly in volatile southern regions. With every passing hour, the window for safe exit appears to be narrowing for those still inside the country. Tensions are also rising along the Israeli-Lebanese border, where artillery exchanges continue to escalate. China has advised nationals to avoid border areas completely and remain in central zones if unable to evacuate. International airlines are adjusting routes, and some have suspended operations entirely in Israeli airspace. Several Chinese construction and tech firms operating in Israel are evacuating staff and halting projects. Some Chinese nationals have turned to private security services for temporary protection while preparing to leave. Reports indicate more than 1,200 Chinese citizens may currently be in Israel, many with limited English or Hebrew skills. Community groups are distributing guides in Mandarin to help navigate local emergency protocols. The conflict shows no sign of de-escalation, prompting fears that airports could soon shut down entirely. In such a scenario, citizens would depend solely on embassy-assisted evacuation missions, which are limited. China's warning is being covered heavily by international media, underscoring its global political weight. Meanwhile, Israeli citizens are also grappling with disruption, as daily life is deeply affected by repeated sirens and alerts. Businesses have shuttered, schools are closed, and many cities are under emergency surveillance and military patrols. This isn't the first time China has pulled citizens from high-risk zones. But rarely has the language been this urgent. Diplomatic experts note that such advisories usually precede international policy shifts or deeper engagement. For now, Beijing insists its top priority is the safety of its nationals, regardless of political outcomes. Some speculate China may offer humanitarian aid to Gaza or push for UN-led peace talks in coming weeks. In Israel, emergency services are stretched thin, managing injuries, air raid responses, and civil unrest. China's call to evacuate may put pressure on Israel to de-escalate or at least clarify its military goals. Middle Eastern allies of China, like Iran and Saudi Arabia, are also closely watching this development. As chaos spreads, the international community is waking up to the risk of a full-blown regional war. Chinese students have formed mutual help groups, using apps like WeChat to coordinate safety tips and travel. Some students have even shared real-time GPS updates with friends and embassy staff to ensure tracking. The embassy has warned about scams targeting evacuees, including fake travel agents and unofficial rescue offers. Chinese airlines may increase flights from Tel Aviv if the situation remains stable long enough. However, any sudden surge in hostilities could shut down commercial air routes completely. Reports also indicate attempts to arrange evacuation convoys via Jordan or Egypt if needed. In Beijing, top security committees have reportedly been briefed on real-time conditions in Israel. Experts say this move also tests China's growing global role as a protector of its overseas citizens. Comparisons are being made to previous evacuations from Sudan, Yemen, and Libya in past decades. Chinese embassies in surrounding nations have been placed on alert to receive incoming evacuees. Israel has yet to formally respond to China's announcement but maintains foreign nationals are not targeted. The next 72 hours could be decisive as global embassies brace for further deterioration. Cyber attacks have reportedly increased across Israeli infrastructure, complicating logistics and security operations. Meanwhile, aid organizations fear a deepening humanitarian crisis, especially in Gaza. Chinese NGOs are reportedly preparing to send aid to affected civilians once evacuation is complete. The situation illustrates how global interconnectedness demands rapid response from governments. Abroad, Beijing is urging calm but remains firm in its evacuation stance, safety first, politics later. Global airlines have adjusted schedules as war insurers raise risk premiums on Tel Aviv flights. Chinese nationals in Israel have been asked to register their location and contact info immediately. Social media warnings about misinformation are being circulated as panic spreads. Local Israeli media has reported coordinated efforts between embassies and local authorities. It's a race against time for many trying to catch the last flights before the situation worsens. Those who cannot leave are urged to stay low, avoid crowds, and follow curfew orders. Air raid sirens and incoming missile alerts continue to disrupt daily life across Israeli cities. Chinese consulates are now coordinating with airlines for possible emergency charter flights. In moments like this, diplomatic precision, speed, and calm decision-making matter more than ever. As new developments emerge by the hour, global focus remains firmly on Israel and its neighbors. The story is still unfolding, but for now, China's bold call to evacuate sets a serious tone globally. For many Chinese families back home, the next flight out is more than just travel, it's survival. Israel continues to claim its actions are self-defense, while urging foreign governments not to interfere. At the UN, member states are calling emergency sessions to address the unfolding crisis. The longer hostilities persist, the more likely other countries will follow China's lead. Evacuation footage is beginning to surface, showing packed flights and chaotic departure scenes. This marks one of China's most proactive civilian protection measures in a foreign country. China's swift action is being studied by diplomatic circles as a case of crisis response success. Officials confirm that no Chinese nationals have been harmed so far, but that could change quickly. Beijing has vowed to keep evacuation channels open as long as logistically possible. This moment reveals how foreign policy, safety, and global conflict now intersect more than ever before. The coming days are crucial. China's unprecedented warning may be just the beginning of deeper involvement in this global flashpoint. That's all for today's analysis. If you found this informative, please like and subscribe for more breaking news coverage. Thanks for watching.